should really check your roof has a curve in it.
Jim O'Rourke is an American musician, composer, music producer, singer, and songwriter based in Tokyo, of all places. He has worked with lots of people. He has been part of the band Sonic Youth. He's done a lot of production work. He's worked with production for Sonic Youth, for Smog, who's also known as Bill Callahan, Joanna Newsom, Wilco. The list of names on the Wikipedia page for him that he's been involved in collaborations with or done production work for is hugely impressive. Tracking down any kind of comprehensive tracking down a comprehensive I still can't get it out. A comprehensive discography for him is quite difficult because he's been pretty prolific. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the fifth and most recent album by Jim O'Rourke in a series that he's done with a focus on singer-songwriter stuff, so basically songs, for the label Drag City. The details on Wikipedia are a little bit confusing because on the Wikipedia page about him as an artist, it describes these 5 albums that he did. But on the Wikipedia page about this album in particular, it says it's the third and final one. And that is definitely wrong, I think. Anyway, that context isn't necessarily hugely important. It's my first encounter with this album and with him as an artist, although I probably have heard him in the context of Sonic Youth, because I've come across some Sonic Youth stuff. Maybe this, not sure. He did join them a bit later on, maybe, than the stuff that I've come across. So, description of this is, I don't know, difficult, controversial, maybe, not quite sure what the right word for it is. So that, as you probably know, I'm working from a list of 3,000 greatest albums according to an aggregated scores from critics from over a lot of different lists. And that list also categorizes the music, and that's what you see at the beginning of the video. So on the list it said chamber pop / singer-songwriter. The Wikipedia page claims that it's indie rock, pop rock, art rock. I think the closest description of those that I would say is helpful is art rock. But I'm going to claim that it's probably more even prog rock, which is a bit, possibly a controversial claim. But hear me out. So I'm going to try and describe what it's like. It's complex musically. It's maybe not as complex or as quickly complex as some modern prog is. Especially there's some odd rhythms. There's use of classical instruments, which is why it's been labelled as chamber pop, because that label tends to get attached to anything that uses, like, you know, cellos or oboes or something like that in the music that isn't a full orchestra. There's some unusual chord sequences and chord structures, and particularly there's some switches in tempo and feel. So songs tend to have several sections that move into each other. So it does feel to me, in some ways, like prog. In fact, a lot of ways like prog. So there's a Swedish guy called Roy Stolt that I have listened to quite a lot of stuff connected with him, and I think it feels like that kind of area of prog. But also at times, it sounded like Peter Gabriel era Genesis, which is just in the way it's presented and the way that he's singing, which is sometimes quite emotive in the same sort of ways. And then, strangely, occasionally it reminded me of the British band Supertramp, but I think that's more of the use of the keyboards for that. The vocals are generally mumbled and hard to follow, and sometimes there's kind of thick vocal harmonies, so it's quite processed. And so as a result, I didn't really pick up mostly what the songs are about. And I think they're mostly quite cryptic as well, so the bits that I did pick up. My favourite song, certainly lyrically, from the bits that I did pick out, is a track called These Hands, which is a much more stripped back track. And again, I can kind of pick up what it's trying to say, but I'd probably have to listen to it a few times to really get hold of it. As an album as a whole, I did like it. I liked it, especially for the musicality of it. It's quite sophisticated musically. It definitely tickles my kind of liking for prog, which is probably why I'm claiming that it's prog. For some people, that'll mean that it's a bit overblown and maybe even some might claim it's pretentious as a result. So if you prefer your music simple, you probably wouldn't like this so much. I think that the title of the album, Simple Songs, is not a very descriptive title because I think they're actually fairly complex songs. Anyway, I liked it quite a lot. What did you think of it? Please tell me through the comments box, and that's it from me for now.
This hand of mine has a mind of its own. It's been places I don't know. Sometimes I feel